Hi guys, welcome back. This is another video on wildlife, birds basically. Obviously you know that I'm getting back into wildlife photography, and birds are my first port of call. So obviously I've been in Hungary for since September, and it was coming really up to the end, into autumn and winter. So obviously in the area I'm in, I'm not sure what is around. I mean, obviously the usual, your blue tits, your great tits and stuff, long-tailed tits in winter time. But obviously we're now back into spring and early summer. So it's nice to see what the seasons do when it changes, to see what wildlife comes back into our back garden. A couple of things really that got me quite excited the other day. Obviously I've seen the common spotted woodpecker, yeah. They're quite common and elusive. But yesterday and the day before I had a green woodpecker visit the garden, and I was amazed. I've not really been able to get some video footage. It's very difficult to catch them, but I did get some lovely stills which I'll show you. So it was really exciting to see. I've got two woodpeckers in the area, well, two breed of woodpecker in the area, along with all the other stuff that I've got. I've got quite a lot of garden warblers. I've been taking photographs of garden warblers as well. Now the great tits and the blue tits, they disappeared for about a month, and I was just tidied up in the garden. I put my bird table down to the middle of the garden. I just put some sunflower seed, and this morning I had a check when I was let the chickens out and fed them. I had a check, and they were back in the garden, so that's good. Now I'm assuming that they were more interested in making nests and laying eggs, and I don't really feed in early spring, beginning of summer, because obviously the seed can get stuck in the chick's throat and they can die. So I don't want to be really doing that. Now the other thing is, the temperature has risen quite dramatically over the last 2 weeks, and we're up into the 30s, the very late 20s, early 30s. Now sometimes obviously wildlife can suffer when it's so hot. Yesterday morning I put a plant pot tray, a big one, and filled it with water, and put it in a corner of my garden, a quiet corner if you will, and it didn't take long to get some visitors. So now I did film these, and I'll put them on and we'll have a talk through that. But you must remember guys, you must try and help. Obviously winter, everybody always likes to put feed out for the birds and watch them in the back garden. Even if you're not bird lovers, you just put some seed out. But the most important thing for them, if there's water, they'll take water before they'll take food. So now it's warm, anything over 25 degrees, it's really warm for them. So put them a bowl of water, a big bowl of water out. Like I said, like a flower pot tray, or even like you can get a bird table and fill it with water, and keep it fresh and keep it cool. I mean, I change mine every 4 or 5 hours at the minute because it's so hot. The water gets really hot. I tested the hosepipe water yesterday, and it was near boiling. It was so hot it nearly burnt my hands, because I've been sat in sunlight for hours on end. So put some water out for the birdies, but obviously just keep an eye on it for the temperature and change it as and when required to keep it cool, because they love having a bath in this weather. Absolutely, it gets rid of all the bugs, or the dust or the dirt, but it keeps the feathers in absolutely fantastic condition. And they need water, like we all do. So next up, we'll get some videos going, and I'll talk you through what's what. The green woodpecker. Now, doesn't he look wonderful? He lives in deciduous forests and parks and thinly wooded areas and along hedgerows. He grows to about 31 centimetres long, so he can be distinguished by green plumage and a large red cap on top of his head. He's not a very sociable species. He lives alone, except during the breeding season. So this is the great spotted woodpecker. It lives in woods and copses, parks, and sometimes in gardens. It's about 23 centimetres long, and it's the most common black and white woodpecker in Europe. And it does have a distinctive red underbelly tail. You can't miss it. So I hope you like the woodpeckers as much as I do. Next up, I managed to get a few species taking a bath. Some not so common and some common. So let's get into it, shall we? So first up, a garden warbler. Now this habitat for this bird is mixed woods with an abundant undergrowth, scrub, parks. Now this one is only 13 centimetres in length. It's not a very exciting colour bird, but you can identify it by its under parts are all uniform, like a buff grey, and then the upper parts are like a brown colour. Personally, I think it's a lovely looking little thing, very cute. You've got to be quick to capture one of these with your camera, they're gone in the blink of an eye. Next up, song thrush. Obviously that lives in gardens, thickets and hedges and woods. It's only 23 centimetres long, and here we have a female, and I managed to photograph its fledgling whilst feeding on the ground. Identifying marks are its upper parts are brown, and obviously the breast, it's like a buff orange with black speckles. Can be mistaken for a missel thrush, but obviously the song thrush is a bit smaller, and also you can hear it singing from the very tops of branches. It's a beautiful song, and as you can see, it's enjoying its little bath. For that, they just washed off a bug and eaten it. So important for these birds to have a bath and wash. It does keep the feathers in pristine condition, all for the health and well-being. In most cases they do get disturbed. As we'll see with this one, we have a collared dove bullying in the place, coming to have a drink. Not a bath, a drink. Well, they're quite comical to watch these. They're not the brightest of sparks. It doesn't know what to do. Look, wandering up and down. Do I get it? Now do I get in? Oh, there we go. Bless, very thirsty. Song thrush didn't go far though. She was watching, waiting for him to get out. Kill me feet and off I go again. Next up, the Green Finch. Obviously this lives in gardens and wooded countryside, parks and orchards. Now this finch is 14 centimetres long, and it's the biggest finch present in Europe. It's quite easy to identify, as it's called a green finch, because it's green and yellow, and as you can see on the wingtips it has yellow flashings. Quite a pretty looking finch, I suppose. One of the nicest ones. Obviously the goldfinch I think is the most prettiest, but it's still very pretty. I've got some lovely pictures of goldfinches, but unfortunately not bathing as yet. Our faithful blackbird. Can't miss the blackbird, can you? But just before blackbird gets into the water, the warbler's back again. Managed to fire off a couple of shots and put her in slow motion so you can see actually how thorough they are when they're taking a bath. They get well into it and get a right good clean. Funny, there's a house sparrow in the background there, as you can see, hoping that they'll leave so you can get a bit of a bath or a bit of a water themselves and nosying. No, I'll try later. Something's just caught her attention. Don't know what it is, but she's obviously seen something. It's still safe though. Would you believe the blackbird was going to be the last one in this series of clips? But I had to go off and do something else. I was a bit busy. So I left it. I will finish editing the next morning. I came back in the morning to finish it off. And lo and behold, I had the warbler come back. Then I had green finches. Then I had goldfinches all come in at the same time to have a bath, so I've added this in. Please forgive me, the clip's a little bit long, but I was enjoying it that much, I didn't want to edit it and make it shorter, so I apologise for that. All the finches coming up now that the blackbird's had a lovely bath, and away she goes. I mean, if you'd like to attract these garden warblers into your garden, then the ideal food that they eat is insects and larvae, also worms, fruit and berries. So mealworms would probably attract them, so try some mealworms. Or even some maggots, you know, if anybody goes fishing or you've got something rotten in your back garden, collect some maggots and put them out. They'll certainly take them. In fact, probably most birds will take them. You can hear the green finches gathering and the goldfinches gathering. Landing shortly. Now with the green finch, they mainly eat seeds and obviously insects, but they do love sunflower seed
they'll go for them every time. So put some sunflower seed out for these, and you'll get them into your garden. I mean, also they do fly in small flocks. So if you do get them coming to your garden, it won't be just one. There'll be quite a few of them. Also, same for the goldfinches too. They fly in small flocks, so you should get more than one or two visiting at once. Now, same for the goldfinch here. Food, they particularly like seeds, but off thistle bushes. But they do love sunflower seeds as well, just like the green finch. So they'll always take sunflower seeds out of their feeder. Also those black niger seeds as well, they love those too. So try some of them. This is so nice to see as well, a young juvenile coming in to have a bath, and obviously watching parents and seeing what they do. It's all a learning curve for them. But this one there at the front on the right hand side is a fledgling from this year. You can tell with the coloration, not quite fully fledged yet, as it were. I mean, whilst sharing a bath, these green finches and goldfinches, they're quite happy to share together. But saying that, I'm assuming that's because of the same breed. No fighting, no bullying each other. Quite happy. I mean, both the green finch and the goldfinch, they are quite a skittish breed. You know, they don't like being too close to humans. But you know, if you put this out in a little quiet corner, just away from all the human noise, they will come down. Especially when it's so hot, they need this water desperately. And all these birds that I've been talking to you about today, they're all widespread. They're all in Europe, so they're quite a common species. Still a couple there of this year's fledglings at the front of focus. So obviously they're doing very well, which is always good to see. little warblers milling around secretly behind there, getting all the moisture from the leaves that have been splashed. But listen to all the birds in the area, you can hear so much going on. It's amazing really, just to hear all this wildlife. I've never noticed it before, but now I'm retired and at home, I can watch it every day. In between jobs though. Here we have in the background, I think, a female garden warbler just sneaking into the area there. I don't know where she goes. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see what they are with the plumage wet, but it does look like a female, but anybody can tell me any different. Let us know in the comments below. Look, the young goldfinch there is just asking its parent for a bit of support. And here she comes again, female garden warbler. Just goes to show what's going on in your back garden. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be living in the country, so I'm going to get more than most, but it's just wonderful to watch. So relaxing. I hope you enjoyed that. See you next time. Thanks for watching.